What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, I really don't have a lot to say as far as the news-wise goes. No real new updates. It just everyone's talking about the CV, just going on and on about it. Did find out that the death numbers that they are the media is pushing out is false. Come to find out, a lot of your doctors are claiming certain patients as CV patients when they're not. And the reason why they're doing that is because they get a kickback, like they get so much money supposedly to try give them a little help trying to combat it. By the money's supposed to be for like new medical supplies and stuff, and that's not what they're using it for. So another thing that they're doing is they're claiming just about every patient that they supposedly dies, they're calling it a CV death when that's not the case. A lot of them are dying of the flu or pneumonia or some other type of respiratory problem or whatever, and they're just calling it a CV death. So the numbers are being skewed. The death toll is not anywhere near what they're claiming, the media is claiming. They're doing that for propaganda and to cause fear and panic. People are now getting tired of it. They're starting to catch on to what's actually going on, and that even though the CV is far more contagious and it can spread and infect people a lot easier than something like the flu or whatever, it's not nearly causing as many deaths as that the media is trying to claim. In fact, it's probably less than even the flu causes per year. So the death numbers are really, really low. This high death number is a lie, and they're starting to figure all that out. So people are getting upset now, and they're tired of the lockdown crap, and they're ready to go back to work, get the economy started back up, and I don't blame them. But that's the big news that's been going on, of course, CV crap. Just on and on about that. That's all you hear about anymore. Anyways, moving on. I did watch the new movie, My Spy, here this past week with Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista is not the greatest of actors. He's more of an action role character, You give him an action role with very, very few lines to speak, and then the movie's going to be pretty good. You can't give him a lot of. He's not a great actor. Honestly, I like Dave Bautista, but he's not a great actor. He's an action star. Anyways, this movie's okay. It's not bad. It's not super funny. It's more of a kidsy film. I mean, like a Nickelodeon type film, and you know how those go. Uh, so yeah, if you like the kidsy type of comedy, you might like this. Uh, the little girl that's in this movie, they made it to where she's basically the boss. She tells everybody else what to do. She doesn't get in trouble, and she's the smartest uh, person on the planet. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but 19-year-old little girl, she knows everything. Everybody else is dumb. That's pretty much what they make it out to be. Like I said, it's kind of stupid. But it's like I said, it's an okay movie. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Oops, sorry. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It was alright. I got done playing a couple of PS1 games. I'm sorry I haven't done a game review in a while, but the way I play games, I'll play a game for a little while, and then I got to take a break from it because it's a lot of times a lot of games are very repetitive, and it starts to bore me a little bit. So I got to play another game for a little while. And what I usually do is I'm playing quite a few of them all at once. Like I'll play a little bit of this one, then I'll play a little bit of that one, and 3 or 4 or 5 games, all at one time. Anyways, I just got done finished playing a PS1 game called Duke Nukem. LA Meltdown was the sub. But anyways, it's very much like a Doom and Wolfenstein. It came out just a little bit after those two did, and it's very similar. Back in the 90s, is a first-person shooter game, and back then we didn't have anything like that for video games, so it was kind of neat, kind of cool. No one had seen that kind of stuff before, and it gained some popularity because of that. However, first-person shooters today they're boring. It just teaches people they want to go around. It's messed up because these people play like Fortnite and Call of Duty, and all they want to do is go around shooting people all the time. That's a little messed up. I don't care if it's just a game. The fact that you think that's fun to go around and just shoot people all day long, it's messed up. You gotta be a little screwed in the head. Anyways, first-person shooters are definitely not my forte. I'm not a big fan. Now, I did like Wolfenstein. I beat it a long time ago, and I liked Doom. But, very similar to most of these style games, Duke Nukem is very repetitive. You're basically going around shooting these aliens that have invaded Earth and trying to stop them. It's got a little comedy in it. The cops are not cops. They're dressed. They're pigs dressed up in cop uniforms. So it was a little inside joke. Everybody gets it. And he does say several one-liners if you click on certain stuff, or when he's running around every now and then he'll say some type of comedic one-liner trying to be funny. But basically you just go around shooting shooting aliens, collecting ammo, collecting med kits, and then a few little power-ups that'll last you like 20 seconds or some crap like that. You go around from room to room looking for little key cards to open up doors so you can get on to the next level. Doom is pretty much the same way. It's just very, except for in Doom you're dealing with aliens that look like demons or whatever. Anyways, it's the same premise, you know. Go around, you know, shooting everybody, collecting your key cards, open up doors and get to the next level. You know, yeah, the scene kind of changes a little bit, background, but otherwise you're pretty much doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's very repetitive and it gets very boring. I find that kind of boring, you know, when you're just going around shooting everybody over and over again. It gets boring. But it's, you know, it's alright. It's fun. But it's just boring. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It's alright. Duke Nukem's just, you know, first person shooters, just not my style. Not a big fan. Especially the new ones like Call of Duty and Fortnite. Those are just plain idiotic. They're dumb. Because you just go in here, shoot people, and then wait for them to jump in another game to go in, shoot people again. It's the same people over and over again. It's dumb. But anyways, the next game I played was called Dune2000. Now this is based off the movie Dune and the books done by Frank Herbert back in the 80s. I never read the books. I did see the movie. I liked the movie. A little confusing sometimes, but you get the gist of what's going on. And this game is basically an RTS, which stands for real-time strategy. I love war strategy games. I like RTSs. They don't hardly make war strategy games anymore. However, I do prefer a turn-based strategy game to a real-time strategy. Real-time is, you know, the computer is building stuff at the same time you are. So it keeps going. It doesn't pause so you can take your turn. It just keeps going. This is basically done by Westwood Studios, which is the same people who did Command and Conquer games. A lot of people probably know what those are. And it's pretty much the same thing. Build your bases up, build your units, go over, attack, and destroy the other base and the other units. However, during the campaigns, you know, they have certain missions where you just gotta use certain units and stuff, which that's the only thing I didn't care for campaigns, is when they have missions like that, you know, instead of just building their things and go over and destroying the other base. That's all I like doing. Anyways, you have 3 factions. You have the Harkonnen, which are normally the bad guys. They're in red. And then you have I want to say Orions, but I know that's not what it is. It's the Orions or some crap like that, and they're green. And then you have Alchemia or Alcariad or whatever. I can't pronounce. I can't remember what it's called. but they're blue. They're supposed to be the good guys. And you're all fighting on this planet called, I want to say it's Arcadia or Arachnid or something like that. I can't remember the exact name. But you're all fighting. It's what they call the spice. It's what powers all the machines and crap like that. And can be turned into a drug too. So, you know, you're fighting over this planet to control this so-called spice. You build buildings, build units, go destroy the other base, you know, like I said. Very Command and Conquer style type game. There are a couple of differences. Number one, you have the sand. You can't have guys or soldiers units on the sands because they have what's called sandworms, and they will kill him, which is kind of dumb. What's the point of having them kind of units if you can't use them because these sandworms are going to kill them off? So I thought that was kind of dumb. You do have rocky platforms though that you can build on. The deal is though, you have to put you have to lay all this concrete down first before you build buildings. Otherwise, they will get weather eroded and be destroyed. Which I didn't care for all that much either. Otherwise, the game's okay. If you like an RTS, you like them Command and Conquer style games, that's basically what it is. Give it a try if you like that. If not, I give it a thumbs up and thumbs down. There's just a few things I didn't care for about it. Anyways, that's all I have for you for that. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, let's get on to your B-movie reviews, you movie hawks. This is Fantasy Week. We're back to Fantasy Week. I picked a couple of Italian films. These, back in the 80s when you had big hits like Conan the Barbarian and Mad Max and all that other kind of crap, the Italians were doing knockoffs of all these big hits in Hollywood. Cheesy knockoffs that were similar. They were trying to cash in on. Anyways, the first one that I watched was called Thor the Conqueror, and it was done in 1983. There was no box office number, which is not surprising. It starred some guy named Bruno Minetti and Maria, a woman named Maria Romano. Now, I have no idea why they named him Thor. That was kind of dumb. I didn't get that because it really had nothing to do with Thor, the thunder god. Anyways, the basic story is Thor's parents is killed. There's this Merlin type guy. You know, I don't know if he's a warlock, a wizard, or whatever the hell he is. Anyway, he raises Thor to become a great warrior. Until he's old enough that he then tells him, you know, he's got to go off into the world and find his destiny. He runs into a few squabbles along the way as he's traveling to some distant land that Merlin told him he needed to go to. Well, he gets there and their shaman or whatever has been having dreams and tells him there's a barbarian horde coming this way. We don't have enough warriors. We would like it if you stayed and helped us. So Thor thinks he's found his destiny is to basically be king of the village, train warriors, and save the village from this barbarian horde. Which he does. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. This movie definitely was a big cheesy knockoff. Before I get to the things that were, the very few things that were good about this movie, let me start off with all the bad stuff, and there's a ton of them. But I'm just gonna tell you a few. First off, the guy, you can tell, is wearing a wig that's not his real hair. I mean, it's really bad, cheesy wig. I don't know why they put it on his head. It looks stupider than box of rocks. The very beginning of the movie, this warrior and this woman shows up and by these rocks, by the Merlin guy. She pops a squat behind these bushes and pops out a baby. And they wrap him up in these bundles. And then these guys come in here and they attack. And they kill the warrior and the mother. They shoot an arrow into the baby. Yeah. Which is just a big wad of bundled blankets or whatever. But the arrow sticks right in it. But it must have not done any harm to him. Anyways, Merlin disappears in a puff of smoke. Takes the baby with him. After he's grown up, there's a scene where Thor has never seen a female. There's this group of slavers that have a few slaves bound, and they're dragging them along behind them. One of them is a female, and Merlin explains that that's a female. They're similar to men, but different. Thor ends up killing all the slavers. Some of the slavers killed off some of the slaves until there's only one left, and it was this main female. And it's hilarious because he takes her back to this cave and claims that she's his, and Merlin tells him that she's a female. They're dumb creatures. You can do with her what you want. They don't know any better. All they know is how to be, how does he put it? They're there to please and entertain you. That's their job. That's all they're good for, is to play with. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. That's terrible that he said that. But, to be honest, I kind of got it, because that's probably the way men actually treated women back in ancient times. Barbarian days. It wouldn't surprise me. But anyways, that's just one of the deals. Some of the shit they say and do in this movie is just absolutely so ridiculously stupid. It's hilarious. It's just funny. There's this one scene when he runs up across a bunch of Amazons. He basically kills all the Amazons except for one. He tries to tell her that she's his now, and then she kicks him and then runs away. Later, she follows him, though, trying to figure out what he's doing. Because she kind of likes the fact that he was able to defeat all the Amazons. Anyways, she follows him, and like an idiot, he runs across a few village people who are worshiping, I don't know, some like tree stump or rock creature or something. I don't know. They had like some dummy set up, and they're worshiping it. And they decide that they're going. They somehow get the jump on him. They ambush him. They tie him to this altar, and they're going to sacrifice him. They cut him, and they're going to end up sacrificing. So he's bleeding a little bit. Anyway, something happens, and they run off for a minute. And then the girl shows up, frees him, and tries to heal him as well. Heal his cut. And I understand why you're helping me, you know. I tried to attack you. But it doesn't matter, you're still mine. So he claims her anyway. And she lets him. And Merlin tells him there's some seed underneath that rock creature, which he tips over and finds the seed, and he says, take it with you. It'll help you grow crops and you can feed yourselves. Now there's several other scenes that are just messed up along the way. It's just hilarious. But there's one particular scene where, towards the end, where Merlin tells him, conjures up a horse and tells him this creature will aid him in his fight against the barbarian horde. And he says they've never seen it before, and it can do miraculous things. So when he has this fight scene with, which is just a few guys, it's not really a barbarian horde, but the main guy, the main leader, he's the guy who killed his parents at the beginning of the movie. Anyway, he basically just takes this horse and runs around in circles around him, and it scares him so much because they've never seen a horse before. They drop their weapons and they run away, except for the main villain. It was just a little bit ridiculous. But anyways, the acting wasn't great. There wasn't really any, you know, graphics wise or anything like that. Just because it's of the sheer stupidity, it was hilarious. It was funny. I enjoyed watching it because it was so dumb. I was laughing my ass off. So because of that, I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Just for that reason alone. Watch it if you want something to laugh at. Now, if I thought that movie was bad, oh my gosh. This next movie was just utterly freaking ridiculous. The movie is called Hundra. And it was done in 1983 as well. It had no box office, and there's a good reason why. If feminists had a movie for barbarians, this would definitely be one of them. Basically, this was about an Amazon warrior. Amazons, at the very beginning, you have this Amazon tribe. They kill all the male babies that are ever born. They only use men to get impregnated. They do not live with them. They train most of their women to be female warriors so they can kill men. Now, Hundra is considered the best female warrior in the tribe. She's off hunting at the beginning of the movie when a large group of men show up and pretty much wipe out the whole tribe. Except for her. And the elder, which I'll get to in a minute. Hundra takes it upon herself to hunt down some of these men who broke off and went in a different direction. It was about 5 or 6 of them. She ambushes them and kills them all except for one, the leader. The leader recognizes her, they see each other, and he takes off. She shows up at this other tribe, which are full of midgets, or dwarves, or little people, whatever you want to call them. Inside this building, this stone building, is a very old woman who happens to be the woman who started the tribe, the Amazon tribe. She tells her she needs to go find the men and get impregnated so she can restart the tribe. Hundra tells her to go fuck off. The old priestess says, no, screw you. You are all that's left. You have to restart the tribe. Take your ass somewhere and go find a man. Hundra doesn't like the idea, but she agrees that she's the only one who can do it, so to restart the tribe. So she decides, why not? Actually, the old woman tells the elder, tells her, go, why not use one of the men who killed everyone, you know, to reseed the tribe. And she's, oh, whatever. So she goes, tries a couple times to find men, which don't work out. She eventually gets to this one village. It's more like a city, actually, where they have a high priest. They worship this bull-like god. This city or whatever, this high priest, their temple, there are several warlords from different areas of the continent that come there every so often, like every so many months. They come there and they congregate, and they find new women to take home as sex slaves. The temple trains women to be submissive to men, these men, warlords. One of them happens to be one of the leaders that killed off Hundra's tribe, but she don't realize that till later. She finds a man in the town that she falls in love with. He's a doctor. He doesn't act like other men. She tries to force him to sleep with her and all this other shit, and he ain't doing it. She sees how nice he is to one of the temple girls. This temple girl, she's got makeup on and dressed real nice. She has a son, which the priests don't know about. Her job is to train the girls to be submissive to the warlords. She thinks, Hundra sees the way this doctor acts towards this woman, and thinks that if she gets in the temple and she gets this woman to teach her to be like her, nice, dress nice, use makeup, blah blah blah, that the doctor will like her and then sleep with her and impregnate her. She uses the son as collateral because the other priests don't know about it. So the temple girl decides to train her. She does eventually get pregnant by the guy, the doctor. However, the priests find out. They want the Amazon, Hundra, to become submissive. So they threaten to kill the baby if she don't do it. So she's in there being forced to be submissive to these warlords. And then the doctor and the priest girl show up, or yeah, the temple girl shows up with the baby and says, we got the baby, he's not going to kill it. And then so Hundra goes on a slashing spree and kills all the warlords, every single one of them. There's like 20 of them. So yeah, like there's 20 of these warlords, and she kills every single one of them, which don't make any sense. I mean, they didn't become warlords because they were easy to kill. I mean, most generally, if you're a warlord of an army, pretty much, you know how to fight and you know how to kill. So it just made no sense. This little girl basically kills all these men. It was dumb. But anyways, after she's done and frees the women slaves or whatever, the doctor tries to tell her, I would be more than happy to be a family with you and help raise our daughter, blah blah blah, this family, and we be a loving family or whatever. But no, she takes the feminist route, tells him to fuck off. She'll take care of this kid on her own. He'll just have to deal with it. And she leaves the village because she says she's got to go present her to the elder. And that's the end of the movie. This movie was really bad. I almost couldn't stomach this movie. It was so bad. This was super feminist. Super feminist. The way they talked about men in this, it was just horrible. It was terrible. Instead of trying to love one another, they're literally just bashing men left and right throughout this entire movie and making them like they're idiots, pigs, monsters. It's just wow. When she's literally acting horrible, she's acting like a straight up bitch the whole movie, even to a guy who's like a really decent type of guy. She flat out treats him like dog shit. So yeah, it's a messed up movie, killing off the babies and crap as soon as they're born. That's fucked up. But anyways, that's the two. I give this most definitely. The acting wasn't really great at all in this movie. It was just 2 thumbs down. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, as far as fantasy goes. So that's all I have for you this week. Next week is Sci-Fi week, so hopefully we'll find a couple of good ones to watch then. Please let me know what you think about anything I've discussed down in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, some movie gems I might have missed or never seen, B-rated movies, please leave your suggestions down in the comments below, and I will get around to reviewing them as soon as possible. Anyway, again, that's all I have for you this week. I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.